Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. And today I want to talk about the recent announcement that came out for Wuthering by the developers. I think it came out on the 2nd or on the 1st. I think it's second their time, first for kind of anyone west of maybe Turkey or something like that. And I guess the first thing I want to say is there's a full disclaimer, full kind of TLDR. My perspective is from a casual dad subpar gamer. You know, there's nothing else to it. I've put around 30 hours into the game so far. I'm currently union level 33 and I've been working on the data bank and casually doing it. I think I'm on data bank 14 or something like that, so I'm not even unlocked any 5, so I don't have any like legendary 5 gold yellow star gears or anything like that. And also, before we get into it, I think generally these notes, the announcement is a big win and we should take the big win. I think it's super important that we acknowledge that the developers are trying. There's a couple of things in there that maybe we do need to talk about maybe how they see things or how reactionary they have, but we'll kind of get into the nuances in time. I don't want to kind of start off on all the bad stuff or just have nothing really to it, but it's also because maybe we've been a bit starved from developers in the past. Genshin. So I don't know, that's kind of the starting point for me, and we're just going to have Jianxi in the background with the beautiful little dragon. I just love this setting. I think this setting is amazing at the minute, so this is where we're at. I guess I'm going to start off with the good things. I don't want to run through the whole thing. I'm sure lots of people have already kind of looked into the whole announcement. It's quite long. I don't need to read through it. But I guess sometimes I've got kind of 4 major talking points here for the good. And the big thing is that they're listening to the community, they're listening to the feedback. Sorry, my camera's going out of focus there. I think I'm sitting a bit too far back. But they're listening to the community, they're listening to what people want, how they think that the game can be improved, or anything along those lines. And on that note, kind of moving on to it, they're actively looking to improve the game. And I guess if we look at some of the big things that they kind of picked up was how the echo grind system, how that could work, maybe the experience on that, or even how to raise them, the auto camera lock on, which I don't know about mobile players, but on a PC, when I'm trying to like get this dude and it's kind of shifting me back this way, it's not fun. It's not fun, but I'm an average gamer, so I get slapped by everything anyway. So that doesn't really matter, removing unnecessary cutscenes like the tacit field one. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. In my opinion, I think some of the stuff in the main storyline that should be skippable. So if it's not like leading up to like a major cutscene, and it doesn't really have any major contextual thing, like I'm just about to defend like an area, and doesn't actually change how I'm going to perceive the ending of the whole act or chapter or whatever, then let me skip it. I'm not bothered. I think the other thing is that they're looking to address the shell credit economy. I ran out of shell credits at one point, until they gave us like that 600,000, and then I've been running off that since. I think I still got it. And the other big thing that I think is really, really good for the game is they've looked to introduce it's like the HSR system where they got that storage system. I hope it's like that. I don't want it to be like the condensed resins from Genshin, but that means I've got to go do shit, and there's going to be a cap on that. Like if I don't log in for a day, I want to be able to have my 240 there. If I lose the premium credit currency, that's right, so be it. But I think that's a big win for any casual player, anyone who's going on holiday, busy people, dads. I think that's a really good quality of life thing. I hope they implement it sooner rather than later. I guess the other thing is that they're compensating for us. It's not always just an apology and that this is what we did wrong and we're going to fix it. Whilst that's nice, just a little carrot on a stick, just drip it to us a little bit. That's nice. I like that. What's like a free pull or anything, but they've given us some good stuff. They've given us a free 5-star. They've given us another free temple. They've given us is it five pulls on the weapon banner? Excuse me. So those kinds of things, and more credits, and then the wave plate kind of replenish. I don't know what it's called because I don't pay attention to the actual items and what they're called. And then the other thing is, obviously, they are apologising for their mistakes, and you can't argue with a company that is going to apologise for their mistakes. It's a good thing. So we should take the wins when we get them. So in general, I'm happy with all the things that they're kind of putting together, and I don't really know exactly when a lot of the stuff is going to be implemented. Like they've put some announcements in. I think a lot of it they're aiming to do in 1.1, some of the big stuff, because they're going to be changing their timeline now, which we'll get onto in a bit. But I think we have to take the wins when we get them, and it's super important because the game is good, the combat is good. It's probably the best combat of a major open world JRPG I've seen in a long time. So I'm happy with that, and I think everyone who appreciates the game should be too. Excuse me, I've got a really bad cough. I guess moving on to the things that may be a little less positive from their side is the amount of compensation. Like a little bit here and there is good, but you don't want to get into a habit of compensating for every little thing, because it's the same with anyone. You give someone an inch, they're going to take a mile, right? So sometimes an apology is enough. I think in some of the cases, like with the Japanese localization issues, the compensation is great for us global players and anyone outside of like where it wasn't a problem, because it's just free currency. But to fix it, the only reasonable way to fix that weapon is to do what the weapon said it would do. So I think it's the Xi'an one where they said that it would increase, I think, is it the liberation or the resonance damage, one or the other, or swap it the other way around. Just make it happen so it's valuable, because people have pulled for it for their Kalkaro or Kalcharo. And if you don't let that happen and you give them all their money back, or what I've heard rumorings about it being in a negative position, it's too messy. Just change the weapon to do what it's supposed to do. Learn from your mistake for your next weapon and just get it right. That's the end of it. And I think that's the best thing that they can do. I don't think there's really a problem with the amount of compensation they're giving. I think a free 5-star for like general kind of launch issues. Again, I don't know how big the CN side was, because I heard they kicked up a big fuss. I mentioned it in my last video, but a free 5-star is a big deal, And it's a selector. It's not random. You decide. I think people underestimate how big a deal that is. Like, you get to decide what 5-star you get. So you can literally pull on all the banners, and the last one that you want or you don't get, you can pull for that one. Pretty much like how I did, really. I'm not just working my way through Encore. I think it's Encore, but I don't know. So the banner changes every 3 seconds. I think the other thing that is super important about the feedback that they've been listening to is knowing that not all feedback is good and valuable for the game. Everyone wants the game to be the way they want it to be, but that doesn't make it the game that it should be. They have to stay on track. They have to be focused on the kind of game that they want to be. I think right now they're trying to hit this kind of in between, running the casual to hardcore player, in which way they want to kind of run the game. I think they should pick a lane, and if it doesn't work, so for example, pick the hardcore side. And if it doesn't work, just add big boobs, big ass. You're going to make money. And you start on the next project. It's as bad as it sounds, that is the reality. Look at Nikkei. Nikkei is one of probably the biggest money makers in recent gacha history. And still big boobs, big ass. It's not a game changer. It's not rocket science, but it works. But, you got to understand what feedback is good for your game and what feedback is just good for that player. and I think that's important. And I don't really have a lot of feedback. Most of my feedback is kind of economy related, grinding related, or anything like that. So I think that's important. The other thing that kind of concerns me a little bit is the change in the Yinlin banner. It was meant to come out the day that Zenless Zone Zero has been announced to come out, and then a few days later they decided to change it. Like, that's interesting. I get that they're doing this to bring it forward for content reasons. That's the reason they put on there. But honestly, it's a monetization thing. They know that when ZZZ comes out, or ZZZ, however you want to pronounce it. God, my throat's really bad. They know they're going to lose money on the Yinlin banner for the casual guys or whoever's going to pay money to pull for it. So monetization wise, it's probably a good idea to do it this way. I think. I'm just going to have some water 1 second. But I think there's nothing wrong with changing it for monetization. But I think the big thing that they don't want to be mindful of is you've already poked the bear with Hoyoverse by taking, for now, a large kind of dynamic or whatever you want to call it of their market that they've dominated since 2020, for almost 4 years now. I think Genshin Impact came out in September 2020. So I think that's a big thing that they need to be mindful of is you don't want to just change your workings because you don't want to poke the bear of Hoyoverse. Now I understand that over in China things work very differently, and I don't know how big an entity Kuro Games is over there, but you just want to be mindful. And I don't mind Yinlin being coming early because I'm guaranteed to get her, and I'll be sure to make a video on it. And hopefully she'll make all my future kind of electric characters just absolutely cracked. I think, but that's enough about that. I don't really have much more to say, but it is very interesting that they decided to do that and used to bring content forward as the reason and excuse for it. Excuse me, this cough's really bad. So the other side of things is there's clear evidence that they need to do some focus on some of the smaller details like localizations, in-game economy. There's also no use for like older materials, so like tuners, for example, the blue tuners or the purple tuners when you get to like the gold. Not that I have, but I've seen it. You can't do anything with them. So can there be a tracker trade-up system, like a 3-to-1 or a 4-to-1 system, if it's depending on how the economy goes? Because that's a finite resource. That's the resource you're grinding for. That's the resource that's your RNG. That's either going to give you dopamine or it's going to make you want to rage quit the game, one or the other. And I think those are the tiny little things that maybe they should consider thinking about. I think one thing that kind of wasn't in the game but has been mentioned by a couple of creators out there is they probably need to look at helping players understand how characters work. So like intro skills, outro skills, concerto energy, deepen, all those kinds of things, because it completely changes your team makeup, your rotations, your damage output, and how much damage you're gaining or losing by not doing certain things. It's the difference between completing Tower Diversity and not completing Tower Diversity from what I've seen. Now, I've not really done it because my characters are dog shit with dog shit gear, and I've not really got the time to kind of grind out as much as I can. But I don't know, the way I was thinking about it is you could incentivize it by when you reach a certain point on your character, I don't know, let's say Ascension rank 3. So that's when you hit the level 60 mark. You unlock the mastery system on it, and within that mastery system you have to learn the intro, outro skills and understand how it impacts. So like have a damage cap or what kind of damage, and without you learning those skills you'll never achieve those damage caps. And after you do that, you learn that skill, and that skill then essentially becomes a part of the kit of that character. So it's not something you have to pay for, but it's something you have to learn, something you have to put time and effort into. It's something that helps your progression, helps your understanding of the character, helps you in the harder content of the game. I don't know how many people would like that. I think I would love the challenge of that, because sometimes reading pages and pages and pages of friggin' character skills is I just get bored, and I'm just like, oh, I just want to face roll something. I just want to close my eyes and just go tap, 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 and it's game over, you know? And if you're like that, then you probably feel the same way. I wouldn't want it to take away the excitement of actually getting to know and learn a character, but that's maybe something that they could do, you know, like in the trials, how the trial system works. So then once you reach that point, and the second part of the trial system unlocks, and you can have teams included to help you learn these things, potentially make it repeatable, so that either you might master it if you move away from the character and then you come back and the kind of the conditions of the trials of the adversity or the game modes has changed and you need that character, you need to learn it again. Make it a thing, because that's what people want. People want to learn those things. But that's just kind of one of my takes, is that maybe they could probably do that a little better, because I know it would help me, and I think it would help a lot of people who play casually, who don't kind of sweaty, try hard, no life the game. But those are kind of my general takes on the announcement. I guess the only thing that we can do now is wait for this to come. I think it's coming out on the 4th or the 6th, so it's either tomorrow from when I'm recording this, or it's on Thursday local UK time. But in the meantime, I think if you haven't done your data bank, and that is something they're going to update when Yinling comes out, it might be worth waiting, because you're going to get through it faster. You're going to save yourself a whole load of time, and it's just easier part of the game. You know, they're making things better. I understand that getting a legendary or yellow or gold is just that massive dopamine rush. I don't have that yet. I've been deprived, but when it happens, I'm going to be super happy. But yeah, if you don't want to kind of run out of things to do, which some people have, I haven't. Not even close. I think yesterday I just unlocked all the waypoints, because before I was just kind of learning the game, learning the movements, and enjoying the game itself. You know, I mean, look at the background. The background looks amazing. I mean, I've turned her voice sound off so that it doesn't kind of overwrite what I'm saying, but you can enjoy the game for just enjoying the game for what it is. And I guess the other thing you can do between now and then, if you have the time, is complete any quest you have got outstanding. So the main ones is the green exploration quest, the yellow story quest, and the purple, the yellow main story quest and the purple character story quest. Get them done, because they yield the most amount of experience points for your union level. And that's kind of me wrapped up on my thoughts of the announcement after reading it and taking some time to digest, and I guess listening to the thoughts of some people who have put it out on Twitter as to what their thoughts are and things like that. I've watched a couple of videos, but nothing major, because many of them kind of read through the whole thing, and I wanted to read it for myself. But that's me. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know what you think about the announcement, how you feel about the rewards, and how they're kind of taking the community feedback. Do you think they're taking on too much community feedback? Do you think they're taking on the right amount of community feedback? And will this help the game overall? Because some content creators, some of them, I believe, are starting to think the casual player in about a month's time are going to feel like they're running out of things to do. And is that something that you feel like? Anyway, so on that note, that's me done. Let me know your thoughts, as I said. And if you like the video, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel for more Wuthering Waves in the future. See you later. Bye.